Hello and welcome to our full moon meditation. I'm Zara Haji of Yoga Goddess, and I'm so excited to be spending this full moon with all of you. Welcome, welcome. I'd love for you to introduce yourself as the video goes live. I always love to know who's joining me and from where. I'm in Toronto, Canada, and again, I'm Zara Haji, creator and founder of Yoga Goddess, and my signature Moon Goddess yoga and meditation practice, especially to heal fertility and reproductive health challenges. So excited to be here with all of you. Hi, Mary. Welcome. Mary is coming from the Philippines. So nice to see you. Hi, Callie. Callie from Toronto. Welcome. It's so nice to see you. So as our group gathers, I'd love to hear where you're joining us from. And today we're here under the full Sap Moon. And it's our second full moon of 2021. And it's a really spectacular full moon. If you follow astrology, it's the full moon in Libra. And it's actually been called the relationship moon as well. So, hello, Ash. Lovely to see you. Ash from Australia. Wow, welcome. I wonder what time it is in Australia. Hi, Amanda. Welcome from Ohio. Lovely to have you here. So, feel free to say hello and share where you're joining us from. As I mentioned, I'm in Toronto, and we just crossed over the spring equinox on March 21st or 20th, depending on where you were in the world. And so spring is in the air, and the Sap Moon, which is also known as the worm moon, is symbolic of the sap starting to flow in the maple trees. So we have lots of maples here in Canada. Welcome. Hi, Jamaica from Maryland. Hi, Tabitha. Welcome. Plum Rova, welcome from Tulum, Mexico. Bienvenida. Mete. Hi, Mete. It's nice to see you from Toronto. Welcome, welcome. So as we move into the springtime energy of the maiden, so the maiden energy, the archetypal energy of the maiden is most alive in the springtime. And so we're ushering in this fresh new energy, the energy of awakening, and of new life starting to flow, right? In North America, the earth has literally been covered in a blanket of snow and frozen over. Hello, Ashish. Welcome. Ashish joining us from London. Welcome so much. Welcome and so much. Thanks so much for being here. Marta from Barcelona. Bienvenida también. Lovely to see you. Hello, Christina from New York. Welcome. So, as our group gathers tonight or this evening under the full moon, yes, so let's talk about, Ash mentioned that being in Australia in the southern hemisphere, the equinox is the fall equinox. So while we in the northern hemisphere are moving from the winter to the spring, in the southern hemisphere, they're moving from summer to the fall. So that cross quarter, there's four quarters, the year is split up into 4 quarters. And in terms of the goddess calendar, we have the 2 equinoxes, spring and fall, and we have the 2 solstices, summer and winter. So depending on which part of the world you're in, if you're north or south, we're transitioning from one season to the next. So for those who are in the southern hemisphere, you're moving into the enchantress energy. So the bewitching energy of the fall, where the earth starts to darken and go inward. Whereas us in the northern hemisphere are reawakening, are moving into that rebirth after the death of winter, just like the death of menstruation. So when we have our period and the uterus sheds her lining, then there's this place of fallow and a time of no life, like sort of, it's essentially a death, a transition time. And then as we move into the springtime, there's this rush of new energy, enthusiasm, excitement as the earth starts to awaken into her potential of rebirthing. Hello, Francisca. Welcome. Lovely to have you here. Hello, Melissa from Michigan and Kim from Raleigh. So lovely to have you here. Welcome, welcome. I know Francisca is joining us from Europe. I always get it wrong, so I'm not going to say which country. So lovely to have you here. And it's really an interesting full moon, as I mentioned a little bit ago, if you're just joining us now. It's full moon in, excuse me, in Libra. I'm just going to have a sip of water. And it's been called the relationship moon by some astrologers. So two relationships. Hello, Gina from Portugal. It's so lovely to have you. So we're looking at relationship with ourselves and relationship with other. So my favorite card deck ever, the Moon deck, I posted in the Yoga Goddess support circle. So here on this group, you can look down on the feed and you'll see that the Moon deck provided some questions that are beautiful. It's a beautiful inquiry for each of us to look at as we move through this full moon. Hello, Jaya, welcome. And I might pose some of the questions as we go through our meditation, which we'll get ready to do in a few minutes. And each full moon meditation, Miranda Gray offers us particular colors to focus on. So the moon rays, when they are transmitted, we're seeing them in the silver white light. But within that silver white light is held a spectrum of colors. And so for this full moon, it's pink and white. So I'm just going to double check. Yes, it's pink and white. So I'll just read to you what Miranda Gray says about the March moon rays of pink and white. She says, the mother's pink ray helps us to enrich our relationships with love and release connections that are not a free exchange of sustaining love. And the beautiful soft white ray envelops us with unconditional love and light so we can bring this love into the world. So I'll just read that again because it's so beautiful. The mother's pink ray helps us to enrich our relationships with love and release connections that are not a free exchange of sustaining love. The beautiful soft white ray envelops us with the unconditional love and light so we can bring this love into the world. So I just welcome you as our circle has mostly formed, I think now, to just sit right now with yourself. And while we do that, I might go grab a Kleenex because I'm noticing I have a stuffy nose. Allergy season is beginning here. So let's take a moment and just consider, where in your own relationship with yourself do you sense a stagnation of energy, right? So coming back to the idea of the Sap Moon. So as the earth begins to thaw and life begins to flow again, literally, through the earth's veins and the trees' veins, the sap, let's call it the flow of life, the elixir, the liquid of life force begins to flow again. So the metaphor of the sap and the maple is a beautiful one because it's easy for us to imagine. And so let's consider where in our own psyches, in our own, um, even in our own sense of embodiment and within ourselves, where do we feel frozen? Where do we feel a sense of stagnation? Where we could really use that sense of thawing, of letting the energy flow again. So, just to give you a moment to just sit with that question. Where in my life am I frozen and need to thaw? Where could I have more energy? Where would I like to have more energy flowing as we transition into the spring in the northern hemisphere and fall in the southern hemisphere? And I'm going to grab a tissue. I'll be right back. And here's some additional questions that the moon deck poses. And as we open the closets and drawers of our inner life, let this full moon illuminate the following inquiries. How do I talk to myself? How do I talk to myself? What are my thoughts throughout the day? What are my thoughts throughout the day? What am I giving my energy to? What am I giving my energy to? Are there choices I'm making consciously or habitually that are detracting from my energy rather than restoring or adding to it? Are there choices I'm making consciously or habitually that are detracting from my energy rather than restoring or adding to it? Aloha, Ali. So just give yourself a moment. Maybe those questions, those inquiries can help illuminate where the stagnation is lying for you in your life. And I want to just give you a moment to put into some words what you're intending to let thaw under the light of this full sap moon. Where would you like to see the energy flow again in your life? And I welcome you to share in the comments. Hi, Cheryl from upstate New York. Welcome. So I'll give you some time to think about that and put it into words, write it into the chat. Where would you like the energy to start flowing again? What needs thawing in your life? And I can't mute, so you're going to hear me blow my nose. Excuse me. Okay. I know it takes a few minutes to put thoughts together and type them out. So I'll just give it a few more moments. Feel free to write in your journal as well. Ashley says, communication of my mission to others. Jaya loves the sound of my snot flowing. It's so perfect, right, Jaya? Thank you. Welcome. Sorry, Melissa says, welcoming in more love into my life as I redirect my focus from others back into me, giving myself the love I need first so I can fully show up to this life as I'm meant to be. How beautiful. Thank you, Melissa, for sharing that. So, since Melissa brought up love, it's true. We want to show up in terms of love for ourselves before we flow this love to others. And we tend to, as women especially, to empty our vessels out until the point of depletion before we recognize where we need to refuel and recharge. And so the full moon meditations are such a beautiful and powerful way to create sacred space for this refueling and recharging, literally under the rays of the mother love from the moon. So thank you, Melissa. Gina says, I feel like my energy's blocked. I would like to smile again and give myself and others more love. Beautiful, Gina. Thank you for sharing that beautiful intention. So the other piece that I want to bring to light before we start into the meditation is this part of the full moon energy around relationship. So Cheryl says, recharge myself. Beautiful, Cheryl. And I want to share something that is happening in my personal life, which I never imagined in a million years would be something that would come around again to be looked at. And because this full moon is so much about reassessing our relationships, relationship to self, as well as relationship to others, a very magical opportunity has transpired, has come into my life of revisiting a relationship that flowed out of my life 15 years ago and was initiated 20 years ago. So it's been quite a journey over this pandemic time of being in isolation, living alone in Toronto, going from a really active social life and traveling to all of a sudden the halting of the world and of life and of meeting people and being in company with others, that it opened up a door that I never would have considered, I think, otherwise, with an old boyfriend, literally from 20 years ago. And so he lives in Argentina and I live in Toronto, Canada. So you can imagine that there is an enormous distance, Southern Hemisphere and Northern Hemisphere. And of course, our relationship, the one that we had 20 years ago, is obviously outdated and not really relevant to who we are today as people. Some of you may be in 20-year marriages, 20-year relationships that have actually survived like the duration of the 20 years. And and some of you might be, there's been a lot of people who are reconsidering relationship whether it's marriage or family relationships or friendships, in this time that we've had so much time to be with ourselves and look at what is serving us and what isn't serving us anymore. So, I want to share with you the questions that the moon deck posed around considering our needs within our relationships. Because part of what this full moon is also bringing to light is again that balance through Libra, but also the healer Chiron, and looking at where we need to heal within ourselves to be able to show up the way we'd like to in relationship. So the questions are, am I honoring my needs inside of this relationship? Am I honoring my partner's needs? Do I give myself alone time? Am I fully expressing myself to my partner? So many questions to be sitting with, and you can look at these questions afterwards and journal with them. It's all posted in the feed below in the support circle here. So I really welcome you to be with, how are you recalibrating in terms of your relationships? Where do you want to consider how maybe the past is informing your present, where it may no longer be relevant, and how you can approach relationship from this place of beginner's mind and fresh new perspective. Hi, Lori, welcome. So it's really a powerful time with also Venus as part of the picture, which I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not an expert in this realm. That's why we share all these different resources with you. So I welcome you to look more deeply into how this full moon resonates for you. And I'll share a video here by my favorite astrologer, Lori Lothian, who goes into more in-depth on the full moon and how it relates to each sign. Okay, so Pia says, I welcome the flow, the love, connection, community, and healing. Thea says, I'm in to receive the flow. Kali says, creative connections with friends, groups, loving, exciting collaboration. Francisca says, I welcome to the flow itself. Holly Clark says, I'm welcoming holy flow in romantic connection with another. Beautiful. And Jaya says, I'd like my sense of time to flow better. My sense of spaciousness and time and moving in the flow, always, all the time, I need for everything. Beautiful. I love that. Alrighty. So let's get started with our full moon meditation. So I'm just going to take off this jacket. It's getting a little warm. And it's always nice to have a shawl. Miranda Gray says, draping our shoulders with a shawl is a symbol or a gesture that we are in the presence of the divine feminine. So feel free to wrap yourself in a shawl, and I will just light a candle as we get started. And I noticed that, let's see, Jamie said, I've been experiencing a lot of anger for the last 26 hours. I need a release or an outlet or something. I don't feel like myself and it's really uncomfortable. This also shines light on the fact that this was once my normal state. All right, so Jamie, I'm going to invite you and everyone, as I light this candle and strike this match, let's think about not only what we want to give flow to, what we want to, give that energy of movement, that maybe there's something that needs to be released and burnt into the flame of the fire. So just allowing that focal point to come as we look at this flame and light the candle of our shared intention here as our group gathers, just taking a moment to focus on the flame, both here externally and internally, as we cast our circle of women all over this earth in this moment under this full moon. And let's call ourselves in to the circle. You can say your name out loud and bring your presence into our circle. Zara. And let's imagine all of us as we energetically bring ourselves into presence. Imagine us all together, connected womb to womb, heart to heart, hand to hand. As we literally sit on so many continents throughout this earth right at this moment. Imagine this circle connecting us throughout Mother Earth. Just like the veins of the trees where the sap flows, imagine our connection as a vein, a thread of connection throughout this planet. And each of us a representative, an emissary of the Divine Mother, the Goddess. Placing your left hand up as though to receive, your right hand down as though to give. Holding your hands and offering this connection to all the women who are present here now and who join us later in the replay. We are all gathered here together. And then let's gather that energy in, placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And taking a few moments to connect inward to your heart and to your womb space, whether or not you have a physical womb. Breathing into your heart and womb space. If your eyes are not closed, go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath. Feel your weight on the floor or on the chair where you're seated. And allow yourself to sink into the support beneath you. Letting that support take more and more of your weight. Now bring your awareness to your lower belly. Feel, know, or see that your womb tree lies within your lower belly. Its beautiful trunk splits into two main branches, and they are full of deep green leaves, small white flowers, and red jewel-like fruits on the ends. The tree's roots grow down deep into the earth. Follow them down. Now become aware of the full moon above you, bathing you in the most beautiful silver white light that washes through your aura and over your skin. Within this silver white light lie all the colors of the rainbow, softened into a gentler feminine vibration. See or feel that within the moonlight are individual rays of pink and white light. The pink and white light flows over you and through you, down your body and into your womb center. The pink and white light flows over you and through you, down your body and into your womb center. Open your womb and let it fill with color and energy and love of the Moon Mother. Repeat in your mind, I open my womb center with love to receive the energies of pink and white moonlight. I open my womb center with love to receive the energies of pink and white moonlight. Allowing yourself to sit now and receive the energies flowing down from the full moon above, pouring down over your body into your womb space. I open my womb center with love to receive the energies of pink and white moonlight. I will sit quietly for 5 minutes to receive these energies. Keep breathing and receiving.
Continue to imagine the pink and white moon rays streaming through you, generating a flow of energy to move out and move through anything stuck, stagnating, like the sap in the maple tree. Imagine these moon rays facilitating this energy awakening, this energy flow through your whole being. Pink and white moon rays flowing through you. Flowing out through your womb tree roots. Whatever's ready to be released, to be let go into the fertilizer of your future self. Let it be flushed through and down into the earth for composting. Make space for the new. Make space for the fresh. Fresh new season. Fresh new life. Notice how you feel and what you sense and see. Now grow your womb tree roots deep into the earth. Follow them down. Take a deep breath and bring your awareness to your heart. Feel gratitude for the healing gift of the Moon Mother. Take another deep breath and smile. Open your eyes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this space with me. I would love to know, what did you see? What did you sense? What are you willing to share about your experience here today under the full Sap Moon and our meditation together? Please do share in the comments. What did you sense? What did you see? Give you a few moments to share. Thank you, Marjorie, for being here. Love to know what your experience was like in today's meditation. I noticed a vast expanse at the end, and the pink and white moon rays felt like candy stripes, which was cute. So I'd love to know what the experience was like for you, and if you got a sense of the old and stagnant leaving and the welcoming in of the new and the fresh. Elisheva says, I feel an ungripping. Beautiful. Melissa Solom says, still vibrating from it. Beautiful. Thank you, Melissa. Jacinta says the pink, white, silvery light was magical and mystical and beautiful. I could feel the energy and released a knot in my stomach. Beautiful. Ashley Lang says, saw so many things. A lot of liberating imagery. Must be self-love and releasing love all around me to others. Beautiful. Thank you. Gina says, I felt a very bright and magic energy filling me up and made me feel light and happy. Aw, makes me feel light and happy to hear that. Thank you, Gina, for sharing that. So beautiful. And Jaya says, the flow of pink and white light from the moon through me, saturating all parts of me, then going into the earth from my roots, felt connecting and powerful. Beautiful. And Teresa says, a flowy pink freedom. Oh. So I really do welcome you to journal. There's so many questions that were offered by the moon deck, and I feel like it's such a powerful exploration. So I do invite you to sit with these questions and to consider again what Miranda said, that the pink moon rays here to help enrich our relationships with love and release connections that are not a free exchange of sustaining love. And then the white ray envelops us with the unconditional love and light so we can bring this love into the world. So to sit with all of this as you have been bathed with the energy and see what you unearth through your process. Pia says, I sensed an awakening with all the movement, sounds, emotions, upheaval of any stuckness being released. Oops, let me go back. My heart feels open more than normal. I felt the stretching of my roots wanting to connect. Oh, beautiful, Pia. Thank you. Geneva says, warmth and fertility, grounding and safety and security. I always enjoy your meditations. They're absolutely gorgeous, comforting, and divinely feminine. Thank you. Well, thank you, Geneva. I love your name. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for being here. We will be back again next month. I think it's the pink moon next month, which is lovely. And I will keep you updated with the progress of my new budding rediscovering relationship with my ex-boyfriend from 20 years ago in Argentina. It feels like a potent time to be rediscovering an old love turned new. So I hope that you will find your way to whatever that means for you, the old turning new. I feel like we're in a beautiful period of transition where we're being asked to rediscover, reconsider, and look at how we want to move forward in the world and what we're going to leave behind and what we're going to take forth in our relationships. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Sending you blessings, full moon blessings, and lots of love. Is there anything I want to announce? Nothing's coming to mind. Yeah, I think we're good. Sending you lots of love. Bye, everyone. See you next month.